Welcome to Empowering Innovators, the series where we'll talk about innovation the startup way. Today I have with me Haran Sold, the leader of the innovation portfolio division at Unit4. Welcome, Haran.
Welcome, thank you.
Next to Unit4, you're also a partner in 1407. Can you explain a little bit what you do at 1407?
I love the entrepreneurial environment, and I love the energy and ideas and the variations that come from startups or scale-ups.
Yeah.
And this is something I do in my free time, and this is basically working with most of the cases young entrepreneurs and enabling them think through the business challenges, mainly as they either try and figure out the business models or are going through growth pains. Because once you sort of figured out the model and once you started being successful and growing, growth is a lot of fun, but it's extremely challenging. Scaling is extremely challenging. Finding people quickly is extremely challenging. How do you keep consistencies? How do you build processes that are not going to choke you as you grow? These sort of questions are this is what I.
And you operate there as a mentor or a coach for them, and as maybe as an angel investor.
Yes. Yeah.
What are the main things that you see that these young, eager companies are having challenges with? Maybe diving a bit deeper in some of the topics you just explained.
Yeah, it's different. There is a company called Softwheel that is. That basically created the suspension of the wheel in the wheel itself.
Yeah.
Originated from wheelchairs to just help back pain for handicapped people, and now they're moving into bicycles. And in bicycles, it means way lower maintenance and better quality of riding. But they had the patents, they had the IP, they had the production that was good for a certain size, and suddenly everybody wanted it.
Yeah.
And then it's how do you find manufacturers that can scale? How do you find partners that can sell? How do you build your channel? How do you work with, in the case of handicapped people, with insurance companies? So it's the finding new channel and go-to-market strategies that will allow them to work. In medical devices.
And you hands-on help them, or you give them your perspective? Or
It's more perspective than hands-on helping. I have a day job.
Correct.
Yeah.
What is it that the corporates can learn from let's say the startup or the scale-up mentality?
I think the biggest challenge that large companies have is fat. They have too many resources. There is too much going around that allows waste. I think that one of the most difficult things in startup, but it's also the most powerful things in startups, is this constant state of starvation. Is that you never have enough resources, you never have enough money, and you never have enough time.
Right.
And which forces you to be brutally focused, otherwise you'll just go bankrupt.
Right.
And it creates a certain quality and a certain intensity in startups which you don't often see in large organizations. And large organization, if you can actually create this environment when you give people a lot of autonomy, or teams a lot of autonomy, but create an environment where they are either being starved or being fed, depending if they are successful or not. And successful, it's more, again, going back to the leading indicators.
Yeah.
I think this is something that corporates could do much better and much more often.
Yeah.
Also, I don't think it would work for the whole organization, because sometimes you just keep repeating and getting another 0.5% here and 0.5% there. But I think that every time that you need to have an organization that is hyper-focused, looking for a solution, looking for new opportunities, it's an environment that allows you to fail fast, fail often, and also succeed in a way which is much cheaper.
Yeah. Well, what would you do different maybe? And we just did our first batch of corporate accelerator teams that go in there. We all know that you need a certain personality, and not even just your skill set, but very much your mindset, right, of the entrepreneurs that go in there. What would you do different in making sure that you create like not only the right environment, but also have the right mindset for those teams to go into these environments? What do you look for?
I think that I would probably two things. One is I would scrutinize the teams. So I think that all the teams that we had good people in them, but the team structure, the build up of the personalities and the skills in the teams. You've seen that in the team that we knew before day one, we heard from Julia which team was the better team, and at the end she was proven right. You know, it's these sort of things.
Yeah.
So it's to have more scrutiny on the quality of the teams, and it's the construct of the team. It's not so much the people in there, but it's the construct of the team. And the second is I would probably give them sort of open it to a broader environment and give some sort of a market for people to actually understand what is it that we're trying to do, so that there will be more people applying to it. Because I was actually surprised that I would have expected that almost everybody would want to be on board. And it was a very limited group of people.
But it's the unknown, right? So it attracts probably people that are less risk averse.
Correct.
And maybe those teams were the guinea pigs, right? They were the first ones to go, and now the rest of the team probably the next time it will be easier.
I think the amount of energy that we got out of it, and the amount of enthusiasm that we got back into the organization, and the amount of teams that are now adopting some of these. The learnings that we've had here, the methodologies, the way of working, it's fantastic. I mean, just the energy and the cultural shift and the mind shift that we go through it is phenomenal.
Okay. Shortly touch upon culture. We already touched upon the cultural side of the leadership, but also in the teams. If you look at culture, what do you think is most challenging while innovating or creating new growth models?
From a culture perspective, I think one is that failure is okay. Second is that we will slaughter holy cows, and you have to feel comfortable with it. And the third is probably that you constantly have to say I don't know. And this is something which, for people who are knowledgeable, they know the industry, they know the customers, they've been around, they have great experience. You usually think that you know everything, and the fact that you constantly have to say I don't know can be challenging for professionals. And I think that these are the three things that are sort of, people have to get used to the fact that it's a discovery mode, and everything is open, and most of your assumptions will be proven wrong, or at least some of your assumptions will be proven wrong. Yeah. And the ones that are not, you'll find really interesting things about. I think that in all the three teams that we've had here, all of them had this moment to say, how is that possible? It was like the tribal knowledge, and we just validated that it's not true. And this is a moment that I think that each of the teams, we actually had also the team in the beginning of the summer. Each of these teams had this moment of, okay, we just slaughtered the holy cow. Okay, now we can start rethinking the way we think. Yeah.
Are they bringing that now back to the rest of the company?
Definitely,
Being able to say I don't know means that it also says something about you. You're basically being humble. Yeah. You're saying, listen, let's find out. And like you're saying, not for many people, this is very common to say. I love saying I don't know. Let the data prove and tell us which way to go. But do you see that people are now spreading,
so I think
especially in innovation?
We don't see so much the I don't know. What we do see much more often is, okay, how did you validate it?
Yeah.
So
show me the data.
Show me the data. So how did you get to, I mean, you say something which makes sense.
Yeah.
Did we check it?
Yeah.
And this did we check it part is one that we actually see more often than I would have expected it to come over. I mean, it's something that I see very often now happening in the teams, which is great.
Great, I'm happy to hear so.
Yeah.
We're gonna end like we always end with some rapid fire questions. Favorite book?
21 Lessons for the 21st Century.
Favorite innovator?
Tough one. Dean Kamen?
What inspires you?
The little things in life, probably.
What makes a great leader?
Hiring great people and getting out of the way.
What drives you?
Curiosity?
What should everybody know about you?
Nothing.
What do you value more, a certificate or experience?
None. Probably it's velocity.
Good answer, interesting answer. Greatest achievement so far?
Ask me in a couple of years when my kids are over 20.
I'll ask your kids. Biggest learning in life?
Keep having fun, probably.
Define happiness.
My family.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.